They are now 1 win away from their first NBA championship since 1973. I do not believe what we just had the privilege to watch. Man, from our Delta MSG studios, Bill Pito, Steve Novak, and Wally Szczerbiak, you guys are the former players. What do you have?
Wow, just an electric comeback, and Jalen Brunson put his team on his back in the second half. He just stayed steady. You know, things hadn't been going his way. Things weren't going the team's way, but they just stayed in the moment. I think that's how you have to do it. You can't get too far ahead of yourself. So you're down 27. It's not going to happen.
It's actually up to 29, too.
It's up to 29.
27 at the half.
Yeah, and you got to just chip away, possession after possession. I don't think the Spurs did anything wrong. They had good looks. They just started to miss. And they're not an extraordinary three-point shooting team. So the way they shot in the first half, that was an anomaly. Yeah. Then in the second half, reverted to the mean, and they couldn't make one. And as a result, the Knicks seized the momentum, that building got going, and that was an epic collapse by the Spurs.
You know, it really was. And I'm just shocked because when you have a lead like that at halftime and you have momentum like that, it is hard to give it all the way back. You might make it a close game, but I was at halftime with Jeremy Lin, and we were sitting in the suite saying, let's have a little bit of sushi. And he said to me, you know what, there's never been a finals series where each team has won all road games. First 2 road games, next 2 road games for the first 4. And I thought to myself, doesn't that just give you a little bit of hope? I said, so what are you trying to say, Jeremy, that the Knicks are going to win this game because it's never been done before, that the road team has won the first 4 games?
Useful stat right there. That's a useful stat by Jeremy Lin.
Well, especially when this is how it plays out. And I said, you're giving me a little bit of hope. But I do think we've talked a lot about this team being a team of destiny. And what we just watched, and I know we're trying to act calm and cool right now, but I just kissed you on your cheek when we were watching that play. Wally, this is
it's
Bill.
On video, by the way, buddy. It's on video.
This is some of the most exciting hoops I've ever seen in my life.
Well, this is the greatest comeback in the history of the finals.
I don't know. We're acting calm, but I'm telling you right now, I'm ready to go to 7th Avenue.
There is magic in the air. Jose Alvarado playing with Jalen Brunson. We don't often see that. It was a key combination. Over to Alan Hahn, standing by with Jose Alvarado.
All right, thank you, Bill. Jose, I don't know how to put that to words. I'm going to ask you to put that to words. What just happened?
That's called Knicks basketball. Staying together, being together. And look at this fucking energy, man. This is what we do it for right here. Thank y'all for staying with us.
What was said in that locker room? Because that first half, there was a sense of confusion about what was happening offensively. What did you guys talk about in that locker room to turn this game around?
Stay together. You know, chop it down, chop the lead down, and most important, stay together and stay confident, and that's what we did.
1 game away from an NBA title. What is the mindset now heading to San Antonio?
Go to San Antonio and go get another win. That's what the mindset right now is. Stay together, stay together.
Incredible. Thank you for the time. Congratulations on the win. Amazing, Bill. Back to you.
This is our BritBox player interview, BritBox stream, the best of British TV. All of this happens, this remarkable comeback, Wally, after a first quarter in which the Knicks were outscored 41-22. We talked about in the pregame the way the Spurs have dominated these first quarters. They dominated tonight like they haven't dominated all series long in the first 12 minutes.
Yeah, and that was the huge call because Towns had gotten a foul the possession before. Here's Towns is hooking his arm a little bit, and there's Wemby with the push, though. But Towns locking up his arm is what the officials were drawn to. Wemby can't get his arm loose, and then he fouls him as he's going to the basket. That's a huge call. 2 fouls on Towns. So the rest of the first half, the Knicks were mismatching lineups all over the place. And how about the Spurs shooting in the first half, Steve? I mean, they could not miss. These guys were lights out from the three-point line all over the place. I thought that was a travel. Wemby doing his Gumby things and getting to the basket there.
You know what? Sometimes you can't tell when it's Wemby if it's illegal or not, because sometimes he's doing stuff you've never seen before. And so you tip your cap when they're making amazing plays.
Yes.
But like you said, the shot making that the Spurs had in the first half, along with their defense, full court, their switching, their presence was everywhere. I was deflated thinking, there's just no way you can really come back from this. With
and I love
energy
this play.
They were playing.
I mean, Wembanyama's talking to him, and then Mitchell Robinson gives him a shot. And Wemby, listen, he's asking for it.
He is.
Wemby is asking for confrontation. Here's the fourth quarter. Karl Anthony Towns' first points in the fourth quarter of this finals matchup. Huge three right there. ANUNOBY is locked in. I mean, this guy is as clutch can go. 33 points, 10 for 15. How about 7 for 9 from 3? Nice play there going right at Wemby by Karl Anthony Towns. And the Knicks continuing to whittle down the lead. Jalen Brunson just had himself a ball game. 36 points. And the momentum, the crowd, I mean, everything. It must have felt like an absolute avalanche hitting this Spurs team. Wemby finally hits a big shot there, puts it back up 4. So they're kind of thinking we got a little bit of breathing room here. But then Alvarado, no back down. And how about that lineup? I don't think we've seen that lineup very much with Alvarado and Brunson out on the floor together. Jalen cuts the lead to 1 on that 3, and the building is alive. And here we go. Jalen Brunson again gets to his left hand, actually finally gives the Knicks their first lead.
With 1:22 to go.
Yep, with 1:22 to go, and Castle, ice in his veins. This kid is tough, man. 8 for 8 from the game in the free throw line. 1-point game. I like this shot by Brunson. If they're doubling him, give yourself a chance. And OG from heaven flies in, gets the tip. No, I mean, he got the block shot, the possession before to give him a chance, and then the busted play here. You're not getting a call, Wemby, and you're not getting a call, Castle. An epic meltdown collapse by the San Antonio Spurs. Knicks are up 3-1 in the NBA Finals. What do you have, Bill Peter?
All right, so the Knicks down 27 at the half, outscore the Spurs in the second half by 28. You see the Knicks shooting. You see the Spurs shooting. In the first half, you guys referenced the Spurs hot shooting. 14 made threes, most ever for a half in the history of the NBA Finals, but they only made 3 of 17 in the second half. So, 29-point deficit, biggest comeback in the NBA Finals history. And coming into this game, teams were 0-14 when trailing by 29 points in a Finals game. Something in the air. This was just a magical comeback that will be talked about and remembered. What we saw tonight, when history is revisited and thought about, will never be forgotten. I mean, they're just an amazing, especially given all that's on the line, too, right? You go back, you're potentially going back to San Antonio 2-2.
Yes.
Now you're up 3-1 after this amazing comeback.
Yeah.
And this doesn't happen unless you have a group that has special in their blood.
Yep.
And these are guys that over their college careers and as they've been together with the Knicks, they've proven they have that gene, they have that chemistry, they have the ability to do things that you can't do on your own or you can't do in other places unless there's buy-in and unless you have a group that really does have a little bit of destiny in them. And I think we're seeing with plays like that, you screamed, OG from heaven, and Bill is yelling, oh my heavens. It really is. It's like there's individuals that can do really good things, but then every once in a while, and it really is only once in a while, you get these groups that come together, that make each other better, that love each other, that the fans embrace, and the energy, like you said, it's out in the street right now. It's in here. It's over there. You got Jose Alvarado saying the F word in the post-game press conference because he doesn't know any better because he's too fired up. And this is one of those moments where there's still a game to win.
We've seen the Knicks come back against Boston last year in the playoffs, twice down by 20. We saw them come back against Cleveland this year, down by 22, but we haven't seen anything like this. Across the street we go. Alan Hahn standing by with Mello. Alan, take it away.
All right, thanks, Bill. Here with Carmelo Anthony. I'm trying to put words to this, Mello. That's my job, but can you put words to what you just saw happen here?
The Knicks ain't quit. Listen, that's what championship teams do. They never down and out. This got to be one of the greatest games, one of the greatest comebacks ever in the history of the NBA. And to see how they did it, they never gave up. They was down 20, 30, and they fought back piece by piece by piece by piece. So we ain't gonna say nothing about what San Antonio didn't do, or what they should have did. We'll talk about everything that the Knicks did, and they was incredible tonight.
All right, well, you've played on this stage for a long time in your career. You know what this building can do. Did you feel like the crowd stayed in this game despite the deficit, and that was part of the reason why? Because there was a point in that fourth quarter where it seemed like the Knicks players were riding that momentum and the crowd was feeding into it.
Well, when you catch a run in the guard, it ain't nothing like it. And they stayed with it. The momentum was unbelievable. Everybody played their role. And you got to take your hat off to Jose Alvarado tonight, because he came in and changed the game. He made plays defensively. He made shots. And his confidence today allowed the New York Knicks to reel their way back. It's an incredible feeling.
OG ANUNOBY makes that tip. Just an absolutely incredible play by him off a missed shot. As your son comes in here, what would you say about OG ANUNOBY's game as a guy with Jalen Brunson as a main piece? OG was right there with him making big plays, including that game-winning play.
OG always been a steady pace, a steady force for the New York Knicks. Whenever things is not going well, it's always OG that come and make a play, make a layup, make a dunk, make a three, make a defensive play. OG just been phenomenal this whole series. He's been a steady flow for the New York Knicks.
Only at the Garden, right?
Only at the Garden.
At the Garden.
How can you beat this right here?
Thanks so much, Melo.
Thank you, brother.
All right, back to you, Bill.
Alan Melo, thanks. Central Park, they're watching. They're watching Brunson miss. They're watching OG ANUNOBY tip it in, and the Knicks win it 107-106, and that's the sign and the scene outside MSG.